Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to Aesthetic Imaging Video Tutorials. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create a thumbnail image template for your videos in After Effects. Now, I know you may be asking yourself, why not just use Photoshop like a normal person would to make photos? And I say, well, despite working in Photoshop for, 10, 15 years more than After Effects, I'm more comfortable doing it in After Effects, so that's why. Also, I know some little tricks that are pretty awesome in After Effects that I don't know in Photoshop. So here we can select our software. We can turn off the visibility for our title. We can change the color. We can remove the tutorial or video type just by clicking a button. Now, this checkbox, yeah, it's turning this single thing on and off, but it's actually controlling all four of these. Whoops, that's three. All four of these layers. All right, and you can change the color of that. Cool beans. Let's see, we can change the color of the outline. And I even have one set up for a glow threshold here. And the way we set this all up is actually all through expressions. Every week when I make a new video, I'm changing the thumbnail is just a few clicks. It's so easy. I bring in the new tutorial still image that I have, This is actually from a week ago, and what I can do is just go into project. I have comps here. Just go into a video title PC and just type in whatever the video title is. And then we come back to our template main, and it's automatically updated. And then of course, this was done in After Effects. What the hell just happened? Oh, cool. We're just gonna crash. And we're back. What a perfect time to crash, but when you're explaining how conveniently simple it is to edit your template. All right, so as I was saying, I did this in After Effects, so we can just switch it to After Effects. If I did it in Premiere, I could go to number 6 over here. All right, so this is cool and all, but how do we make this? All right, so what I'm gonna do things a little differently today. To add effects, I'm not going to go over to the effects and presets, wait for that to load, type in whatever and look for it. I'm actually going to be using Video Copilot's effects console. It's free from Video Copilot. I'll leave a link in the description. Go and pick it up because it saves so much time. Another effect that I'm going to be using and adding is VC Color Vibrance, also by Video Copilot. So while you're picking up, your FX console, pick up some VC Color Vibrance while you're at it. Those are the two effects that I'm going to be using. I'm going to kind of blast through the actual creation of, the text and all that stuff, because the real meat is all the expressions used for our controls. That's the real meat and potatoes, if you will, of this tutorial. So I'm gonna kind of go really fast on all this stuff. Now that I spent a lot of time describing how I'm gonna save time, let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna create a new composition, 1920, 1080. The only thing that really matters is the size, duration, length, and all that stuff. And rate doesn't really matter. Just size matters. All right, so I'm going to call this template main. And we're going to hit OK. And here's our blank slate. So what we're going to do is over here, I have this image. Now, this is not a tutorial that I did or am planning to do. This is just one of the first images that I kind of picked to use as an example. All right, so I'm going to scale this up. All right, so this is our main image. So let's do this. Let's create a new text, and we'll call this create Hoth scene. Fair warning, I'm currently typing with a hand that was recently stabbed with an X-Acto knife. Like, not on purpose. So we have our create Hoth scene, and we're just going to move that up to the top here. And we want to make this kind of like a darker gray. All right, and even if you want to go up here to a line, make sure it's centered. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pre-compose this. Shift Command C to pre-compose it. All right, so I'm going to call this video title PC. Hit OK. So now we have this. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. Blue. Command D to duplicate it. We're going to set the track matte to alpha matte. And we're going to take this and we're going to add a fast box blur. And we're just going to bump up the radius. Something like 8 maybe. So now we're going to take these two and we're going to pre-compose that. And we'll call this video title holder. So now we're actually going to go back into our video title holder. We're going to go to this layer right here, and we're going to type in fill. So we're going to add a fill. Put that below the fast box blur. I don't think that doesn't really matter. And we're just going to set this to 0 and the brightness to about maybe right there, 65-ish. All right, so now we're back in our template main. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter right here, and I'm going to rename this to video title color. And now I'm going to add a VC color vibrance. I'm going to set this to yellow. So now what I'm going to do is go into our project, take our video title PC, and move that below our color. All right, so I'm going to rename the video title PC down here to just add background to the end. And then we're going to duplicate this, move this below, and change the background to outline. So on top of our outline, we're going to add a fill, and we're going to add Minimax. The fill we're going to change to black. And Minimax, we're going to change the channel to alpha and color. And we're just going to bump up the radius. Yeah, we'll do 2. All right, so our final step for this is going to be, we're going to take our video title holder and make sure you're in the project window. And we're going to duplicate it, Command D. And we're going to rename this to video title glow. So we're going to take our video title glow and we're just going to pop that on top there. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to take this color vibrance here and we're going to copy it and then go into our glow, create a new adjustment layer, and we're going to paste that on top, the color vibrance on top. So we're going to change the name of this adjustment layer to color and glow. All right, so another thing that we want to do here is, before we go any further, let's create a new solid, make it black, and we'll call this background, or BG. And we can hit Shift, Command, open bracket, and that'll pop the black background to the bottom. All right, so let's add some glow. Glow. You see how convenient this effects console is? All right, so we're going to change the glow threshold to about 13-ish. We're going to change the glow intensity. We're going to bring that all the way down to 0.05. And we're going to turn up the glow radius to about 20. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our glow and we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to take the glow radius of the second one and we're going to triple the glow radius. So we're going to duplicate that again. And we're going to bring up the radius even more. And we can actually change this to 0.1. We'll change this to 0.7. 0.07. 0.07 is what I meant, not 0.7. All right, and our first glow, 0.07. There we go. So now we're going to go back to our template main, and we're going to set our title glow to be screen. So let's go to our logos, and let's pop them in here. Pop them in right about here. And they are all a mess. So let's take our After Effects logo, scale it down a bit, select all of them, maybe move them over to here. All right. Blender, we're going to take that, make it about the same size as our After Effects logo. Epidemic Sound, I know this is not really software, but it was just in the folder that I had all these software logos in, so I'm using that too. The more the merrier for this effect. All right. And we just go through, change them, Photoshop. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to zoom in here. And despite this being a PNG, there is no transparent background, so we'll just make one. Something like that. Hit S, scale it down. And this one I'm going to have to move a little bit. There we go. And last, our Premiere, which is just ginormous. Woo. Maybe bump this up using the keys. There we go. So now we have all our logos about the same size. We'll go to fit to 100%. And what I'm going to do is just leave that for now. And I'm going to switch all these to, we'll make them green. And I'm going to pre-compose all of them. Shift, Command, C. Pre-compose, we'll call this software logos. Change that to green. Now we'll move this below our title, and we're going to change our title, the color in here, to yellow. All right, so let's start setting up our effects controls. So what that is, it's just a null object. Anything that you can add effects to will work. You can do a shape layer, solid, text, whatever. So null object, create that. We're going to change the name to controls. And we're going to go to the effects panel. And we're going to add, I'm just going to go through and add a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to add a slider control. And we're going to name this software selection. And we're going to add a color control. And we're going to call this video title color. How about that? All right, so we're going to close this up real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this lock here and lock it up. All right, then we're going to jump into our software logos. Now here's the fun part. We're going to hit T to bring up transparency or opacity. We're going to alt click on the stopwatch and we're going to type in if parentheses. Now we're going to take this pick whip and connect it to the slider. All right, so let's break down this expression here. So when we pick whipped it, it automatically put in all these words. What it's saying is it wants the opacity to look to the comp called template main. And on that template main, there's going to be a layer called controls. And on that layer, there's going to be an effect called software selection, and it's referring to the slider within that effect. So this is basically a directory telling After Effects where to look to get the information to complete this expression. Expressions are actually pretty important and really good to learn. So we're going to finish this off. Before typing anything else, we're going to type in equals equals, a double equal sign, 1. And then we're going to close the parentheses that we made. So then we're going to type in a space and do 100, else 0. All right, so what this is saying is basically if the effect software selection is set to 1, then the visibility, the amount of opacity is going to be set to 100. If it's anything other than 1, it'll be set to 0. So when it's set to 1, this will be visible. When it's set to anything else, this will, the After Effects logo will not be visible. And you can add that little semicolon right there. It's not necessary, but I like it. So I'm going to do it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to we're going to select all of that. We're going to copy it. And we're going to close out this. So we're going to hit T under our Blender one. So we're going to alt click on the stopwatch and just paste in that expression. And the only thing we're going to do is we're going to change that 1 to a 2. Then close that out. T. Alt click on the stopwatch, paste, change this number to 3. So now it's disappeared completely. Now all you have to do is just cycle through the numbers and the software logo that you're looking for will show up. So we're working in Blender for this tutorial or video. So we go back to our template main and we can control it from there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to close that up and we're going to open up our video title color. And we're going to go to video title color down here. Hit E to open up color vibrance or to reveal color vibrance. We're going to open that up and we're going to alt click on the stopwatch for the color and pick whip it to the word color. And this is saying in this comp for this layer, we want to use the effect color. There we go. Now, if we click out of here, that will change, but you won't be able to see it. There we go. As you can see, it changed. So now we need to go in and change the color for this guy. So one of the things we can do, we can hit E to bring up our effects, or we could also double tap U. And this will bring up any properties of your layers that have been changed. So anything that's not default setting will show up when you double tap U. So we are going to alt click on the stopwatch, bring that to the color. And that is all set. Now that automatically updated, and we can go back to our template main here. That's another thing too. If you double tap U on a layer that has your expressions, that's how you can see your expressions. All right, so we got pretty much the bulk of it, actually. Take a sip of coffee. All right, so the next step is we're going to add our video type text that we have here. It goes down in the bottom right corner. If you want, you can just poke out the little eye of our controls so you don't see it in our actual comp. All right, so let's create a new text here. And we're going to type in tutorial, exclamation point. And we're going to shrink this down just a little bit. Hit V, and we're going to move this down to the bottom right. And we're going to pre-compose this. Call this video type PC. Hit OK. And then we're going to pre-compose it again. Make sure move all attributes is set. And we're going to change the name to holder. And actually what I'm going to do from here on out is I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to make this. And what you're going to see is a sped up video, because making this exactly the same as making this. All right. All right, so I'm going to go back to regular speed here. And just like you can hit Shift Command open bracket to bring everything to the to bring that layer to the bottom, you can hit Shift Command close bracket. That'll bring it to the top. All right, back to the speed up. All right, so actually what I'm going to do is go into the video title glow. And I'm going to copy our glows. You know what? I'm going to copy everything and then just paste that on top. And I'm going to get rid of that expression. There we go. Set the glow to screen. Change these to cyan. There we go. And I'm going to take the fill and the minimax, copy that from our video title outline, and just paste that on our video type outline. There we go. Now we have our nice, beautiful little outline. So let's start setting up some more controls. Because you know what? I think the background for this text is a little too bright. So we're going to go to our main template here, and we're going to lock this, and we're going to add a couple more controls here. We're going to add another color control, and we'll call this video type color. There we go. And we're going to add another one. Actually, we're going to just duplicate this, and we're going to call this one outline color fudge. I never had this problem where when I capitalize a letter, the second one gets capitalized too, until I got this keyboard. I don't know if it's me or the keyboard. Has my pinky holding down the shift become lazy? I don't know. All right, so we're going to duplicate our outline color again, and we're going to call this one text fill. We're going to add another control called checkbox. Checkbox control. And we're going to duplicate that. We're going to call this first one video title visibility. And actually what I'm going to do is just copy that. Select the second checkbox, paste it, and we'll just change the title to type. Boom. All right, so let's start connecting all these. So for the video type color, we're going to go to color, double tap U, alt click on the color and connect it to video type color. Now we're going to go into video type glow, and we're going to do the same. Whoop. Alt click on the stopwatch, connect it to that. All right, change this to blue. There we go. Now that's connected. So we can easily change the color there. All right, so now we got our outline color. Now let's go to our outline layers. U, alt click, or double tap U. Alt click on the color stopwatch. Whoop. Whoops. Alt click on the color stopwatch and connect that to the color. And we're going to do the same for this guy. Alt click on the stopwatch, outline color. So this way, you know, let's say you have a dark background. You can't see the outline, so we can just change it or whatever. I mean, I just like having the control easily available. All right, we're done with that. Now we go to our text fill. Now there's a couple different layers that we need to get into. Let's see. Video type color. I'm going to go to here, to this bottom one. Double tap U, color, connect that up to our text fill color. Then we're going to need to go to our video type glow as well. And double tap U because it exists over there too. So let's connect that to the color. And video title glow. We're going to need that. I'll click on the stopwatch, connect that up. And lastly, we need to go to our video title holder and connect that to our text fill. Basically, the value on our text fill is going to be relative to the brightness of the background. So here we kind of have a bright background, so we can maybe lower the color. I don't know, the value. All right, so video title visibility. So what we can do is type in or hit T on the keyboard to bring up opacity. We're going to alt click on the stopwatch and we're going to type in the same expression as the software selection. So if parentheses, right, we're a video title, we're going to connect that to the checkbox, equals 1, 100, else 0. So now if we turn on our checkbox, our first layer is visible. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and we're going to start just pasting it on. All right, and so video type glow, we're going to alt click on the stopwatch. Actually, we can just paste this and then we can take from after the first parentheses up until right before our double equal sign. We can just select that. And now we can connect it to the video type visibility. And we have replaced that. So now we can select this whole expression, copy it, and do exactly what we did for the video title. So yeah, setting up these thumbnail images, tedious, but the magic lies in when you have to edit them every week, or in my case, twice a week. All right, so that's basically it. As you can see, we can now control the visibility of our title and our video type. We can select what application that we're using. Here's where all this procedural editing, all these expressions being hooked up to this comes into play. So let's say I just finished a new tutorial. How about my World War I film effect? So we just drag in our new still image from our thumbnail background. We can actually even just delete the first one. So now all we have to do is go into our video title holder. Nope, video title PC. Anytime that I make a whole bunch of comps, PC will always be the base one. All right, so we can just double click on that. Type in World War I film effect. Click out of that. Make sure it's aligned. Sometimes it just shifts a little bit. And then we can go back into our template main. That's automatically updated. And then we just go to our software selection. And this was done in After Effects, so we switch it to 1. So this way it just makes everything so convenient and easy to just change. So literally every week I just drag in a new picture, delete the old one, and change the type. And this This software selection, I actually don't even have it on my own template yet because I actually thought of doing it this way last night. All right, so after I have changed and edited my thumbnail, I go simply select the template main and I go into composition, save frame as file. And I change this to a JPEG. Format options, make sure that you're on maximum quality. Hit OK, OK. And then you just save it out and render it. And that's basically it. Every week, that's what I do. Basically, this design, I mean, I use it for my own tutorials. I mean, you're free to use this exact design, but, you know, figure out your own design. That's kind of why I blew through it in the first place, because it wasn't really how to design it, but how to set up these awesome controls. Stuff like this, these controls, these awesome controls, they can be used for not just video thumbnail templates, but just basically any situation that you need this kind of thing. Like that if equals 1, 100 else 0, that expression is a huge game changer, and I actually didn't learn about it until probably about a month ago, to be honest. I knew the checkbox control existed, I just never knew how to use it until one day I was like, I'll find out. So anyway, that is the tutorial. Thank you for stopping by and watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.